afternoon, Mzansi, and welcome to Afternoon Express. Now look, we all strive to live a longer and healthier life. And today we unpack the topic of longevity with Lucia Dramat. We also talk about the importance of sleep. And then we catch up with lifestyle content creator Uzuki Lamani. And the ladies knitting group is visiting us in the studio. But for now, over to you, Z and Lucia.
Thank you, Pali. Yes, we are joined by Lucia Dramat, who's here to give us some insights on how to flip your body's longevity switch to live a longer, more fulfilling life. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thanks for having me.
So, what is your definition of longevity?
For me, the idea is to live long, but to live well.
Yes.
That is the simple, short and sweet.
Absolutely.
Long, but well.
And that speaks to the fundamental difference between health span versus lifespan. People are like, oh, I want to live really long, but having a lifespan is not the same as a health span. A health span is being able to live long, disease-free, whereas a lifespan is living a long life, but you could be diseased for like 50 years of your life, which is where you don't want to be. So how do we tap into the health span of life in terms of longevity? What's your advice?
Obviously, when we look at life, there's multiple facets, and there are these different parts that make up a good quality of life.
Yes.
And so, what you're putting into your body, how are you fueling your body? How's your body moving and doing the things that it needs to do? So your fuel, your movement, are you able to move around? Are you able to go where you want, do what you want, play with your kids, play with your grandkids, do all those things? So the movement of your body. And then mindset is such a big thing because it controls so much of what we allow ourselves to do. So where's your mindset? And then also your connection. Are you connected? Are you part of a community? Are there people that depend on you and you depend on others? Because no man is an island. And I think all those little parts of the puzzle put this beautiful life together. And that long, beautiful, living well, good quality life is built with those little facets.
I love that, Lucian. I also think that you're such a wonderful example and interviewee as well as expert right now, because you've got two young twins that are what, a year old?
My twins are 1 year old, and then I have a grade one, all boys. So it's very busy.
I can imagine.
Well, living life at home.
So how do you put all of that into place? Because I've got no doubt you're sleep deprived, right?
100%.
I've got no doubt that you are eating leftovers from your little kids' place all the time. How do you, within this storm, beautiful, blessed storm, find the time to put all those longevity practices into place?
You know, for myself, I don't try and do it all. I am so happy to receive help. I believe in help, I believe in community, and that is that community part. There are people that I depend on to make my life possible, to make my family's needs, make sure that they are met. So I need help. Being here today, someone's looking after the twins. You know, someone's making sure my son is at school doing what he needs to do. So help is important for me. And then just take the time. You know, you have to prioritize. And sometimes people say, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. If your boss says do it, then you do it. So how come that happens, right? That the boss's words take precedent. So you have to decide for yourself, what takes precedence in my life? What is the priority? What am I going to feed myself with? And what am I going to do because these are the goals, or this is the purpose of those actions? And so for myself, I take the time because I know I need it. If my cup's not full, then who am I going to fuel? Yes. And I accept help. I'm okay with not being the independent woman.
Before we wrap this up, I want to talk about food, because food is linked to longevity, and we hear this over and over and over again that if you don't make food your medicine, medicine will become your food. How do you link longevity to what you fuel your body with?
Yes. Now, I do love myself some good food. I'm a South African girl. I love a braai. I love to enjoy myself. But I do believe that you should live in moderation. You know, have a little bit of the things that you love, but then your body is your temple. You want to make sure that your machine is well oiled, your machine gets everything that it needs to get to be able to operate well. Because I can't imagine living a life not being able to move around, not being able to play with my kids, my 1 year old, not being on the floor with them, and being able to do the things that makes life worth living. So you're fueling your body with what your body needs. And today, we're also taking so many supplements. We're adding to that because we're always looking for what does this body need? But put in the natural, as much natural as you can. give your body what it needs, and different bodies need different things.
Yes.
I heard someone talking the other day about this is the diet to follow.
No, there is no one size fits all, yeah.
Yes. Find out what your body needs. If you're anemic, your diet might need to be different to someone else's.
Absolutely.
Do that research, and there's so much available right now. You can do DNA testing. You can go to the doctor. They can check all your levels.
We're
and tell
living
you
the information age.
exactly
Absolutely.
what you need. So fuel your body with what your body needs, because it's the one possession that runs your entire life.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also going to aid your movement.
Absolutely.
How do you move?
Oh,
personally?
my goodness. With
Aside
my
from
kids,
running around.
Yes. With my kids, I'm on the floor all the time. I'm moving around. I'm swimming. I mean, we've been swimming almost every day this summer. It's just part of life. And I think that sometimes we put this burden on ourselves, like I have to gym 2 hours a day and I have to do this. And if you open a program, you're thinking, I have to gym outside for 45 minutes. I have to gym inside for 45 minutes. How am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to include functional movement into your life.
Yes.
Whether it is the cooking, whether it is the cleaning, whether it is the playing with the kids or going for a walk, actually include those things in your life that you have access to.
Yes.
So that we don't put this high benchmark of it has to be like this, otherwise it doesn't count.
Yeah.
No, walking up the stairs instead of the lift counts.
Yes.
Going for that long walk, even if it is in the mall, it counts.
Yes.
All of those little things count. Just include it in your life.
So you make your movement intentional.
Yes. And
thank you.
Make adjustments.
Thank you so much, Lucia. On social media, we would love to know from you, what is your secret to a fulfilling and vibrant life? And remember to use the hashtag Afternoon Express in all your comments, and we'll see you after the break.
We're in Zanzibar for Tropical Island of Treasure. Are you? Did you just swim here from South Africa? There's an easier way to find fame and your share of a smooth R1 fortune. Simply upload your audition to social media, explain why you're a match for our celebs. Add the hashtag Tropica and tag @MyTropica, and we could see you in Zanzibar. Buy a Tropica now and enter to be on the island.
In the chaos of everyday life, having time away with your girls is a sanctuary like no other. Here to announce an exciting opportunity for yourself and your bestie is the amazing team from Gugat. Help me welcome brand manager Zizi Potkuma and Gyna girl Hlengiwe Shukung. Now, ladies, you've got something so exciting that you are about to announce, Zizipo. What is it all about, and why did Gugat decide on this opportunity?
Palesa, I am so excited to come here and announce the Gugat's Ultimate Girls Getaway. This is an opportunity for you and your bestie, or a girl and a bestie, to go on an adventure at Sun City, just to enjoy themselves, get pampered, go on the adventure trips, and just spend quality time with your besties. So this is really exciting. As you know, we at Gugat, we're all about women empowerment. We're all about, encouraging and promoting women to just feel free to just be. However, also making sure that their well-being is taken care of.
Absolutely. That is so exciting. What an incredible opportunity. I mean, this speaks to fun. It speaks to relaxation, things. For yourself, how are you able to maintain that balance, and how does feminine hygiene also help you in all of this?
Palesa, I'm one of those girls who believe in girl power. So I'm always out there trying to prove myself and work hard.
Yeah.
So I've learned the importance of just letting my hair down, as short as it is, having fun with my girls and just trying to balance things out. And also just having some quality time and just having that knowledge that self-love starts with self-care. So feminine hygiene is very important for me, because as soon as I take care of myself, I'm able to put out my best foot forward, have fun, and do amazing things.
Absolutely. And Zizipo, coming to you, I mean, when it comes to travel, what are some of those practical tips that women can ensure they maintain their feminine hygiene and, they're not thrown off?
So what I would like to say is that if you get chosen to be one of the winners for this trip, the essential thing that you need to pack would be your 140ml travel pack size Gugat Ultimate Essential Wash, because it's small and it fits in your purse or in your travel bag. You can also pack your wipes, your intimate wipes, so that if you should take a bathroom break and use public toilets. You have your intimate washers in your bag that you can just use. And also, as I've mentioned, this trip is all about relaxation. So now we do know that when you relax, you might want to take a bath, just relax yourself and collect yourself. So you may need like a foam bath, and Gugat has that for you.
Yes.
So you'll be able to take that. And I think it's also important to just dress comfortably. And when I say dress comfortably, I'm not just talking about your sweatpants that you may want to wear on the road trip, but I'm also talking about your intimate wear. Make sure that you're wearing a breathable, cotton intimate underwear, because it's quite a long trip, especially if you're traveling to Sun City on the road. And now we in the summer months, you might be sweating. So you just want to make sure that you dress according to the road trip and you avoid irritations. And that Gugat is there to help you do just that.
This is truly an opportunity to form close bonds with your girlfriends, empower women. What does it mean?
I think the important thing to consider is, as girls, we need those relationships, to express ourselves, to have fun. We have so many responsibilities. So for me, it's about building those connections, going out and having fun, bonding, and remembering that life is more than just work or, taking kids to school and all those other things. And also, life is also about taking care of self. So whether it's you spending time with the bestie for a spa day, which is something I personally love to do, and also just going out and letting your head down and doing adventurous things. That's what it's about, just coming back to self and just having the time of your life, having a good laugh.
How do they enter? How do they get involved?
So it's quite easy. All you need to do is get yourself a Gugat wash, and it can be any wash, be it an essential wash or an ultimate wash, 140 mils or 250 or the bigger pack size. But as I've said, you're going to go on a road trip, you might want a travel size, and we've got the 140 mil for you. So get yourself that, and then you will see communications on our social media platforms. Then to say WhatsApp your till slip or WhatsApp your Gugat product to the line that will be provided, and that's easy as that. That's how you enter.
A girls' weekend is food for the soul and a reset of life. Now, if you want to share an all-expenses-paid trip with your bestie for the ultimate rejuvenation, enter the Gugat competition right now. And here's how to enter. What if you could whisk your bestie away on the ultimate girls trip? How does an exclusive luxury getaway to Sun City sound? While 3 all-expenses-paid VIP trips are up for grabs in the Gugat Ultimate Girls Getaway competition. To enter, just buy any Gugat Intimate Wash and WhatsApp a picture of your till slip to 066 417 1923. Competition runs from the 1st of March to the 30th of April. Gugat, free to just be. T's and C's apply.
Sleep deprivation is a significant issue in South Africa, with a large population of people not getting enough sleep, or they are struggling to fall asleep. With me is Palia Lucia to discuss the importance of quality rest and its impact on our overall health and our longevity. Are you two getting enough sleep?
I'll let Lucia answer that first.
I'm going to start with you. No.
Definitely
Why not?
Definitely not, girl. I have become much better, but I have been an insomniac for as long as I can remember. So much so that I even say I take after my dad. Thanks, Dad. Because my dad also struggles to sleep. He takes long to fall asleep. And when you are asleep, it's disrupted. You keep waking up. By the time you wake up in the morning, you are groggy. You're not feeling great. So definitely haven't had the best relationship with sleep. It could be a lot better.
So let me ask you something. Do you know what good sleep is like, or have you just always been an insomniac?
No, I definitely do know and feel what good sleep is like. I would like to think my insomnia is periodical.
Yes.
When I'm stressed, or if I'm going through a lot, or if there's a lot on my mind, or if I'm just busy, or if I've got an early flight to catch, I can't sleep as well. But I do know deep sleep. I've experienced deep sleep. There are times where I can sleep for 8 hours straight, and that's a lot for me. I can sleep at a decent hour, wake up at a decent hour, but still feel refreshed and recharged.
For you, Lucia, with your 2 newborns?
Well, yes, it's been a rough year. We haven't slept much, but in between. We kind of dip into our sleep in and out and appreciate what we get.
Are you one of those moms that take the opportunity when your toddlers are sleeping or when your babies are sleeping, you take that opportunity to sleep too, or do you find that's the time you need to work?
I don't know who those moms are.
Okay.
I don't know if this is a myth or a legend that they tell us about, but I've never been able to do that. When they finally asleep, I'm not sleepy, or I've got things to do.
Yeah. So how do you manage your sleep?
You know what? It's gotten a bit better. They're a little bit older now. I think that some magical sprinkles are sprinkled on you when you have babies to survive that 2-year period, because it gets really crazy, but somehow you survive, and you survive because you have to. But for now, I take my life easy when I have the chance. When I have some time to take a break, I'm not going to guilt myself into being so busy that I don't get to just relax.
I love that you speak about that magical dust that gets sprinkled on, because the body truly is incredible. When you go through pregnancy, and Pali, you will go through this. Our Pali desperately wants a baby, which is our wish for her.
And a little
sooner than later, yes. An afternoon express baby. Is that your body clock automatically wakes up like at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're pregnant, which is the time that your babies are going to wake up when they're out of your body and into the world, which is so wonderful. But on a note in terms of longevity, what is your advice to people like Pali, for example, that have these ebbs and flows when it comes to sleep? Because the reality is that long term, it's not healthy for her to be going through that. She needs to be getting proper sleep more often than not.
Absolutely. And one of the things that really help with sleep is to have a rhythm. To set a routine for yourself that your body knows. And we do it with the babies now. They know when it's bath time. So now you're going to do the adult version. You're going to say, okay, this is how I go to bed at night. For example, you could do the 3-2-1 rule, where they say 3 hours before bed, stop eating. 2 hours before bed, stop drinking. 1 hour before bed, no screen time. And so you're training your body. This is how I'm preparing to shut down. And there are quite a lot of exercises. One of them where you actually lie down and you start to relax your body from your eyelids to your neck to your shoulders, and you just feel yourself releasing all the tension in your body, in the muscles, going right down to your toes. And you can even count down from 10 to 1 as you do that, to just go into that complete relaxed state. And there are quite a few techniques that you can use to help you, but just by routine and having that relaxation and being intentional about, okay, I'm going to rest now. There's already just a few things that could help.
Having that time, I think, for me is critical, because sometimes you find yourself already passed out with the TV still blaring, the lights are still on, and you're like, oh, I passed out on the couch or in bed. Or sometimes you feel as if I've done all of that. I've done the wusa, I've had my guided meditation, I've had my chamomile tea, I've done everything, but sometimes the brain just won't switch off. But the things that I do think have helped tremendously is the screen time. Putting the phone down, because that light, even when I do wake up in the middle of the night, having that, picking up the phone to check the time, it's a downward spiral from there, because then you're checking your apps, and that does not do any help. And I also love the tip that you gave me about stop drinking liquids 2 hours before, because I've got the bladder already seeming like a pregnant lady. I'm always up and down to the loo, especially during the night. So I think I'm going to use that.
Thank you, Lucia and Pali, for your expertise and your honesty. There you have it. It is evident that sleep is not just a luxury, but a fundamental pillar of our health and our longevity. We're still focusing on giving parents all the power when it comes to helping their children to alleviate pain and fever. So joining us to explore the benefits of additive-free medication is pediatrician Dr. Anisa Vahed. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you for having me today.
Now, you are a wonderful example of a parent and a doctor, because you get like first-hand challenges of what it feels like to have a child that is potentially getting sick, and then also knowing what to do and what not to do.
Yes.
So I have to ask you, fever's a big thing when it comes to parenting, isn't it? And sometimes we look over it, glaze over the symptoms, and other times we pay attention to it. What is the importance of making sure that fever is attended to?
So I get into my brain, because I'm a doctor and I'm a mommy, I go 0 to 1,000. So I'm always going through the same things as our normal mommies. always go through. And I'm generally looking at what is the actual temperature. So if I'm regularly monitoring my child, watching the temperature and looking at how comfortable they are. So if you're getting temperatures of more than 38, then I'm kind of going, you know what, let's monitor it. Let's give some medication to try and kind of bring that temperature down, try and get on top of it before it gets worse.
Yeah.
But is my child uncomfortable? Is he looking a bit off? Does he feel like is that temperature is actually affecting him? And do I need to give him something for it?
And what are those acute symptoms? Like, what can we look out for? Because some parents don't have temperature monitors at home, right? So what are the symptoms that we can look out for?
So my favorite thing is my parents always going up. He felt a bit warm. I think it was there. And is it here? Is it on the cheek? Is it on the bum? But basically, we're looking at, are they a bit more lethargic? Is your child normally a bubbly child, and is he now just sitting on the couch, just being a bit more pup? Is he feeling a bit sweaty and clammy? Obviously, if he's feeling much more colder, you can feel the pulses. Maybe the pulse rate is going up a bit more, and maybe they're breathing a bit more faster than normal.
As you can see, our set is beautifully purple, and this is a really exciting moment because Panado has just launched a wonderful product that is color-free, tartrazine-free, and alcohol-free.
Yes.
Tell us about what excites you as a pediatrician about this.
So it's amazing because what we tend to do is we're trying to limit the amount of goodies that we are trying to give the kids. So we want to give them what they need without adding anything extra.
Yes.
So the old school method used to be adding alcohol into it, but the problem is that used to come with side effects from having the alcohol in it.
Yeah.
The colorants, we try and bribe our kids and go, give us the blue one, give us the purple one, give us the green one. And having colorants also comes with risks, especially with allergies. So we want to try and limit that as well. And also the new kind of thing that's going around is tartrazine.
Yes.
So we want to try and also limit tartrazine because we find that preservative specifically in all the other little foods, medications, sweeties that they're eating. And that at a continuous exposure can actually increase your chances of having asthma, eczema, and allergies, and overall anaphylaxis at the end of the day.
Oh, wow. So we were saying earlier on, before we came on to set, that tartrazine is something that we weren't previously aware of in terms of the repercussions that it can, manifest in later on. Tell me from a dosage point of view, how does that impact one's health and well-being over a longer period of time?
So with the research, it's actually come out that tartrazine is one of the most common actual preservatives that actually cause an allergy. So the research is starting to come through at the moment, and now they're starting to actually limit the amount of dosing. Okay. So with us in South Africa, we haven't really gotten down to the dosing, but in all the other countries, they're actually coming down with limiting each drug and how much you're allowed to actually put into that medication, so that it limits the exposure to your child.
So what are some of the things that parents need to look out for in terms of purchasing medication mindfully?
Yeah. So on the boxes, they will always have something. So tartrazine is also known as E102.
E102.
So there's always these little scientific names, and I always say this is when you're allowed to do a bit of Dr. Googling if you're not sure. But go through it, and you can actually see they'll put down ethanol as your alcohol content. So they might not say alcohol, but it'll say ethanol. Okay. And you look at exactly the sugar content as well. And there's always these sweeteners that are included in the sugar. So we always you always just watch that limit. The big thing is with our kids, when we're kind of discussing it with our parents, there's some kids that we actually flag and say, listen, limit this specific content. Yes. And we'll give them a written guideline to say, listen, this is when you're going to the shops, when you go to the pharmacist, make sure that that is not actually on the box before you buy it.
This particular brand and launch is really exciting because it's called Grape.
Yes.
It's not purple. No. It's color-free, which is important. Please explain that to me because I can't wrap my head around that.
The nice thing is it looks like water. So the big thing is that it's nice and clear.
Okay.
It's a bit more runny, so it's not that thick and kind of jelly-like. But especially when they taste it, it doesn't smell like medication. So it smells like grape. And once you drink it, it doesn't have that big aftertaste and actually leaves you with a nice aftertaste of grape flavor. So it's quite nice. You've got to do still a bit of convincing with the kids, but you don't have to they're not looking already going, the purple one, or the pink one, the green one.
Yes.
It's just, just have a bit of a taste of this, and it's there.
And voila. I love it. Anissa, once again, it was so lovely having you here on Afternoon Express. Empowering parents with strength to combat their children's most difficult moments is the best kind of help in the world.
New Panado grape flavor syrup, colorant, tartrazine, alcohol, and sugar-free. giving you the power to fight their pain in a new flavor that is great. I mean grape. It's a clear choice in fast pain and fever relief.
Joining us now is lifestyle, fashion and beauty digital content creator, Zuki Lamani. Zuki, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been a good few years.
It has. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, but it's so lovely to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, for people that are living under a rock, no shame. But for some people who might not be familiar with you, your work, can you just tell us a little bit more about yourself as a vibrant, energetic content creator and your part?
I actually had that word in mind, vibrant.
Yeah.
So I'm Zuki Lamani, a digital content creator. I'm a lifestyle, fashion, beauty and entertainment content creator. Yeah, I'm a vibrant person. I have a very big personality, very extroverted, and I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, I've become so relatable on social media, why people follow me. They usually say my content is authentic.
There must be incredible women in your life that influence you, especially when we're speaking about the topic of longevity.
Yes.
So who are some of those women that inspire you and that you draw some of your power from?
Yes, definitely my mother. She's a mother of 2 children, myself and my younger brother, Ntlonelo. And yeah, she's also an entrepreneur as well. She's a career woman, very driven. And I love that about her. I think it's one of the reasons that have made me who I am today. She's very much like me. Sometimes we don't get along because we're very much alike.
I was about to say, how does that dynamic
we're
work?
Very, very much alike. Very strong personalities, very witted. Another person is definitely Banang. I've been watching her since. I think everybody that knows me knows that I love Banang. She's a media mogul, and that's what I'm wishing to be in the near future. That's the reason why I've chosen those women particularly, as well as my grandmother. Yes. She took care of me my whole life. I was born by my mother, but obviously she played the role of a mother in my life. Both my grandparents, Mama and Tata, I love them very much. Mama, I always say to my friends, she's my best friend. There's nothing I don't speak to her about. My lifestyle events that I attend, everything, I'll come back at home. They say, Mama, yo, saya up, sashala no ban. Yeah, she's that type of person. Definitely my rock. I love her so much. So yeah, those are the women and
in your life,
man, that have inspired me.
It doesn't only start and stop with family.
Yes.
You know, there could be extracurricular activities. I know you are deeply into social media and content creation, but I'm sure there are other things and interests that speak to the heart.
Yes.
Because, yeah, you can sleep well, as we spoke about earlier. You can exercise. You can have an incredible diet. But there's a 4th pillar that I want to touch base with, which is a lifestyle pillar. What feeds you and ensures your longevity mentally, emotionally?
Netball. I love netball. I'm a sport fanatic. It's not just netball. I've played netball, I've played basketball, tried soccer a bit, and I've done athletics all my life. I can't play netball now. I've had an injury in 2015, which, you know, made my journey a bit tricky, but I love netball. I love friendship. I love friends. I have a lot of friends. I have 2 best friends, Utando and Olerato, and those are the people that I can always call, you know, when I feel that it's getting a bit weird outside, you know, the energies, my mental health is a bit, you know, I always, you know, I've created a sisterhood in friendship. My siblings as well, Kamani no Lali, those are the people that I always, we have groups on WhatsApp, you know, whenever I'm feeling like, hey guys, I can't do this, I can't do that, always just, you know, tap into them and go, how are you guys doing? You know, how can I feel better? What do you have to say to me today? So definitely friendship. I love friendship, and I love netball.
Yeah. Well, from the vibrant, bubbly, energetic person that you are to your future projects.
Yes.
Is there anything exciting we can look forward to?
Definitely. There's a project I'm working on, quite big, and I think it's going to put me out there. I think I think it's one of the projects that I'm looking forward to in 2024. I didn't have much resolutions when I started the year, but I was fortunate enough to be contacted, to be asked, do you want to be part of a certain project? And I think you guys should stay tuned. And yeah.
By saying stay tuned, was that a hint? Do we stay tuned to TV? Do we stay tuned to our phones, radio?
Just stay tuned on the media.
Okay. Well,
media.
Done and dusted. Thank you so much, my
Thank
love.
you for having
It is
me.
always so incredible touching base with you.
So much.
And you really are just that authentic person that they paint you to be. Now, from being influenced by her mother, her grandmother, and Ubonang herself, to influencing over 100,000 followers, Zuki Lamani is a perfect example of living life to its fullest. See you in a bit. Easter is just around the corner, and when we found out that Clover have released their brand new custard, we said we have to do it justice and make a classic Malva pudding. There really is no better pairing in the dessert world than these two. So today we're going to be making mini Malvas with a citrus twist, served with all the custard your heart desires. Jay, this sounds like a South African classic.
It definitely is, and it's something that resonates with South Africans all around the world, and it's something that brings back just a feeling of home, and with Clover custard it's just made even better.
You know, this is what I'm all about. In fact, before we get into the actual baking of the Malva, I've got some taste testers, because as soon as I take out custard from the fridge, the first thing I have to do is have a little taste test for myself.
Oh,
yeah,
so smooth, and delicious.
Absolutely silky and can elevate any dessert.
Definitely. So let's get onto the dessert. So I've started with 2 eggs and a cup of sugar, and we're going to cream that. So we're doing the creaming method. So this is a traditional way that you would start the Malva pudding, and you want to get it nice and aerated. I have used brown sugar just because I like that caramelized taste that it gives.
Definitely.
Into that, we're just going to go in with 2 tablespoons of oil, just to add that moistness. And then we've got 2 forms of dairy. We've got some milk, which I'm going to slowly pour in there. And now you want to do this slowly so that your eggs, emulsify with all of these ingredients and they don't split.
Beautiful. Okay. Now, Jay, when it comes to a Malva pudding, it seems as if there has to be ratios that you have to consider to get it moist and succulent. No one likes a dry Malva pudding.
Not at all, but baking is a science, Pali. So when it comes to a recipe like this, we've basically just taken a standard Malva pudding recipe and we've just added a twist with an orange marmalade. We haven't changed up the oil, the eggs, and the sugar. That's usually the 3 things in a cake recipe that you shouldn't play around with. Okay, so we've got some yogurt in there as well, and I'm going to go in with a touch of vanilla paste. Now the reason we use the yogurt is because when you make a Malva pudding, to get the rise, we're not using baking powder. What we're doing is we're using bicarb and a bit of vinegar. Okay. So we're going to mix those 2 together, and you can see how it starts bubbling.
Immediately.
And now that will also react with the yogurt in there. To give you the rise. So that's why we've added a bit of yogurt in there. And
it
also,
does kind of feel like a little bit of a science project, yes?
A bit of a science project, but now we're going to just try and work a bit quickly, because that's going to immediately start reacting. Okay. In we go with our orange marmalade, and we're going to just get that mushed up. Now, instead of marmalade, a lot of people would use apricot jam. Yes. So it's almost exactly interchangeable. So that's why we've used the orange marmalade. Again, not particularly playing around with the ratios of the recipe. And then we're going to go in with our final step, which is our flour. And Chef Jay, you've already got some things bubbling there on the pot. And it's bubbling quite vigorously, so I've actually just turned that down. So what that is the syrup or sauce that we usually would pour over onto our Malva as they come out of the oven. So in there I've just got sugar, I've got butter and cream, and then we've also, just to bring out the zesty flavors in the Malva, we've added some orange juice in there as well. For myself, Malva can be paired with ice cream, but today we're pairing it with our delicious Clover custard. I'm going to pour some more over the top. I mean, just for that additional creaminess and that additional sweetness that the custard. Yes. And I'm going to put it on the side, not over it. Okay, can you put mine over? There we go. And I don't want you to hold back. I would like you to add as much as you'd like, because I think it's just going to be... But we got to save some for later. Okay. We got to save some for later. And while you are tasting Pali, I'm going to start filling the tin, putting it into the oven at 180 degrees. This is quite a small mold, so this will only bake for 15 to 20 minutes. If you're using a bigger mold, obviously extend the time, but keep checking. Okay, keep checking, and just like that, they come out looking as good as this. Okay, let me dive in. Let me know what you think. Bravo. So well balanced, not overly sweet, smooth, moist. everything you want in Malva and custard.
And just like that, serve your family some love this Easter by ensuring Clover custard is the only custard in all your desserts. To get your hands on this full recipe for these mini Malvas, you can please visit afternoonexpress.co.za.
Elevate your custard game with the all-new vanilla-flavoured Clover custard. So creamy and smooth, it makes all the other desserts a little jelly.
Get ready to be inspired as we delve into the world of a remarkable group of ladies who have gathered to knit for a good cause. We are going to unravel their story and explore how their shared passion for knitting is not only stitching together beautiful creations, but also fostering connections that contribute to a long and fulfilled life. Welcome to Afternoon Express, ladies. So we've got Mel, we've got Benita and Wendy. You all look like you are in your element with what you're doing right now. And I love, you know, when I remember knitting at school and I had to look down all the time. I love that you guys are just over here doing what you love best. Tell me how all of this has come about.
Look, we all just love knitting, and I think it's getting together in one space that just adds an extra element to this knitting, this unraveling of the soul. And I'm sure that my friends here can agree that once we are together, we aren't this quiet.
What are some of the things that you talk about? I'm sure a lot is private, so we won't go there. But what breaks that mold in terms of, you know, being new to the group and then feeling like you're one with the group? Benita, let's start with you.
For me, it's usually just I look at to see what's Mel making, or I see what's Wendy making.
Okay.
The new pattern or the new design, the new stitch. Something. There's always something new to learn, and people trying out different techniques, and so that's what I find. That always breaks the ice. Like I go into a place, I don't know anybody, but I see what they're knitting, and I immediately start talking because I want to know what they're doing.
What they're doing and what inspires them.
Yes.
For you, Wendy, what do you love about the social connection that you have?
I love we stay in a village, FG Low village.
Yes.
And like we don't see each other besides lunchtime. So on a Wednesday we meet together, and it's wonderful just to be together and chat about lots of things.
Yes, yes.
From food to knitting to whatever.
To politics, to what's happening in the world, to the children, to the youth of today, how they don't appreciate things,
what we're gonna have
how they'll
for
never
supper.
do this, what you're going to have for supper. Please tell me about some of the beautiful creations that we have on our table here. It's just this, I mean, gorgeous cacophony of colour and joy.
We have a lovely blanket underneath.
Yes.
This blanket is called a friendship blanket. So the Knitwits of Southfield Library, they made this.
Okay.
And yes, it was all made by different people. And what I love about it, we didn't discuss beforehand which color and where it's going to be. Everybody just used the colors they had at home, and we brought it together. And as you can see, it just flows together, and and that's what I just love about it. And this blanket was made by another Knitwit. Her name is Sandra.
I love the name.
And she made it with, it's called a scrappy blanket. So you can see it's all these colors, and it's all made of leftovers from blankets that she's made over the years, and all the little bitties that's left over.
So wonderful repurposing and recycling going on here.
So nothing gets wasted.
Yes,
nothing gets wasted.
Tell me about the joy that you get with the charities that you work with, and which charities do you guys work with?
So across the board here, we knit for a number of charities. So big one, Benita belongs to, well, I also indirectly at 67 Blankets, and I think they need no introduction.
Yes.
But I also came into contact with FG Low Village, where Wendy resides, through Senior Santa Shoebox. And I found out that there was this knitting club in Nova Park, which is just down my road. And I thought, I can't get to the other knitting clubs. It's too early in the morning for a working girl. And there was an afternoon one. And I think it wasn't even just a few months when I started facilitating the group. And I'm like the madness that gets them going on a Wednesday. Then there's, I've got Women's Zone in Cape Town, but I said I connect with so many because it meets me at a different place. It's a groups where I could possibly connect with ladies more around my age group. Knitting clubs are at schools, libraries, and seniors' homes, and it just needs one person to sort of just drop that little spark, or another person to be curious about what's happening there, and that's how the spark behind the sparks that starts the new movement
Wonderful.
going.
Thank you so much for joining us on Afternoon Express. It's been an absolute delight, colourful delight having you here today. Let's all take a cue from their vibrant community spirit and remember that fostering meaningful relationships is indeed one of the keys to a long and joyful life.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
So we serve the greater Pietermaritzburg and surrounding area community. What's important is within our situation and within our community, there's a lot of old age homes, a lot of orphanages, a lot of outreach programs that we deal with and outreach programs that we assist with, which means that it's centrally located, easy for us to assist those people from a pharmaceutical perspective. So self-care is something that everyone should be engaged in and everyone should be indulged in. But it's not something that everyone has access to because of the type of situation that we live in economically. So we have these great variants from the lower LSMs to the higher LSMs. And that's where pharmacy can bridge that gap. Because pharmacy can come in to say, listen, you need these aids in your life and you need this medication in your life. And this is what you need to make your life better and to improve your lifestyle and to improve your health care and to improve your well-being. So the community that we serve is important because it's a two-way street. So we serve the community by helping them from a pharmaceutical perspective, from a healthcare perspective, but the community also gives back a lot to us. So the people who engage with us and buy from us and support us for a long period of time, since the time we opened to current date, it's a more family sort of relationship than just a patient-partner relationship.
Everybody in the shop is kind, they are happy, and they treat me well, and they are very, very helpful. I wouldn't choose any other pharmacy other than Royal.
Being brave means that you are able to tackle whatever challenges that you come across.
And the pharmacist has to be there to be brave, to be a soldier so that the patient can soldier on.
I just want to say thank you to the staff at large for everything that they do for me.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave. Inspiring communities, one pharmacy at a time.
We've been long in the game, healing South Africa one allergy at a time. All the sneezing, runny nose, itching of nose and throat, we've left no stone unturned. Until finally, South Africa recognized us. You've given us the courage to continue to do what we do best. Live, work, play, sleep allergy-free with Allergex Non-Drowsy. Ask your pharmacist for the full allergy range. Brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave. In a world where narratives hold the key to enlightenment and change, stories resonate as the heartbeat of our collective experience. And just recently, Zoraida sat down with Absa's Chief Marketing Officer to uncover the essence behind their profound commitment to storytelling and the pivotal role it plays in shaping Your Story Matters as their new brand expression.
Sydney, it is so great to connect with you and welcome to Afternoon Express. So you guys have this wonderful brand initiative that has just been launched, which is Your Story Matters. What is the inspiration behind it?
We are an organization that is Pan-Africa. In terms of our operations, we deal with human beings.
Yeah.
Whether be it individuals in their capacity or big organizations who represent corporates. You know, the truth of the matter, all of us have a story. All of us want to be seen and understood. And often banks have not been on the side, perceptually, of those that they do business with. Banks have been seen to be self-serving. Banks have been seen to be seeing people for their risk rather than for their potential. So from our perspective, we believe recognizing that human-centered empathy is the thing that connects us as human beings, gives birth to this incredible strapline, Your Story Matters.
Sydney, how does this brand expression align with Absa's values?
At the beginning of last year, we set off on a journey to reframe our business as a business that cohabitates with those that it does business with. And we started with really the existential question, which is the organizational purpose. And here's how we've crafted it, Zoraida: empowering Africa's tomorrow, together, one story at a time. We call ourselves a business, but the truth is, people lose confidence in governance or governments, the leadership deficit we see to society. People tend to organizations like ours to get some sort of hope and direction and leadership. And organizations like ours need to be playing a much more powerful role in the transformation of society, in just helping people move a step forward. You help a small business to thrive just a little bit more, help a community to find itself more hopeful about the future. So Your Story Matters is more than just a set of beautiful words. It's about recognizing people for who they are, understanding them, and then serving them in a manner that is easy for them to do what they need to do. When you go to your bank, you want things to work in their simplicity, with ease, intuitively. So when we say Your Story Matters, again, it's not just a marketing campaign. It's about building these things in the veins of our organization, so that when you walk into a branch, you feel that your story matters.
What are you hoping that your stakeholders and clients will feel from this powerful movement that you speak of?
We want people to feel that these are the people that can help me realize my story. You know, we are in a continent engulfed with so much of turbulence, economically and otherwise. And what actually people are looking for are people who want to hold their hands and just help them. You know, small idea to big idea. Doesn't matter where you come from, what matters is where you're going. It's for people to say, I can dream, you know, and my dreams can be realized. You know, and I got people that I can trust who can empower that, who can make that tangible. You know, marketing has been bastardized so much, you know, because it's who shouts the loudest. But we believe that actually what matters the most is recognizing the humanity in people. And by the way, it's people at Absa. You know, Absa is not a building. It's people serving people. And it starts off with our own people, recognizing them not just as employees, as customers, as people who also have a story that just needs to be lit so that it can take a step forward. So we're here for that.
That's amazing. Thank you, Sydney. Well, there you go. Your story does matter. So live it, breathe it, and most importantly, share it.
Just like that, Z, we have reached the end of what has been a truly phenomenal and informative show. We've discussed longevity and how to ensure that we are on the right track to obtain that longevity, whether it's sleep, exercise, or a healthy diet.
Or community.
Oh, yeah.
And with that, it's time for us to say goodbye. We have loved spending time with you this afternoon and hope that you enjoyed the show as much as we did. Remember that you can catch the repeat of this show on Sunday at 8:30 a.m. But for now, stay safe and see you next week, Tuesday.
Elevate your custard game with the all-new vanilla-flavored Clover Custard. So creamy and smooth, it makes all the other desserts a little jelly.
Another feel-good production.